Hey y'all, it's Miss Johnson here. I'm so glad that I could do another video for you. I was actually hoping I could get to Longview High School before your test, which is now only 3 days away. Three. And I'm so excited for you because I know that many of you are very serious about being successful. So this video is simply just kind of to recap some of the things that we've talked about and to also give you some tips on what to do. A lot of times we have the knowledge on the inside of us and in our brain, but we don't know how to access it because if you're like me, I get a little bit of test anxiety, which means when a test comes, I get just like, oh, I just want to pass this test. Oh, if I get this one, I worry about every little single solitary thing. I worry about things like, could this be the one answer that makes me fail this whole test? And so I want to help you a little bit be able to get over those things. First, I want to start off by just telling you, Baby Johnson is good. He's 3 pounds, 1 ounce. Woo! We're in the third trimester, due in February. So excited about that. Many of you have been able to see some of the things I've been posting via my Facebook page, A Teacher Johnson on Facebook. So kudos to you. I'll shout you out at the end of this video. But as it pertains to preparing for this test, you've already put in weeks and weeks and weeks of work. You've been writing, you've been reading, you've been writing, you've been reading, you've been writing. I've heard talk to Miss Shamika talked about a couple of those little games y'all played in order to help you find text evidence. All of those things are tactics that you want to be able to take into that testing room on Monday. First off, we have been talking about the writing part, the big essay, the expository essay. You get 27 lines to handle your business. 27 lines, which means planning is important. Planning, planning, planning. I'm going to say this. 2 things do not do. Do not leave that space blank. Do not skip over that writing. If you don't do the writing, you are going to fail the test. Do the writing. Second off, do not just start writing without planning, because some of us are going to repeat ourselves over and over and over again and say things like things and things and things and things and things and something like that and something like that and something like that. And that grader, that old man in Ohio, is going to know you don't know what you're talking about. So make sure you go through and you draw the boxes that we worked on. I don't care how you draw them. You just need to plan them out. Do you understand what I'm saying? First being our introduction. That's all we're doing in there is a hook and a thesis. If you can't remember or can't think of a quote or can't think of an important or famous person to start out with, what do? Change the prompt to a question. As easy as pie, because we have the option of our hook being a question. Therein, after we've changed our prompt to a question and we use that as our hook, we go and we write a thesis statement right after, and that is simply the answer to the question. No matter if you use a quote, that question, or some other brilliant thing you come up with, your thesis statement needs to answer the question and include the 2 points that you're going to be talking about, right? Because the thesis is our Debo. Right? Right. So make sure you remember that. Don't put all of your specific details in that first paragraph. It is just a hook and a thesis statement. You get into your body. Your first sentence needs to introduce your first point. You give a couple of sentences, 3 or so, specific details explaining what that has to do with the answer to your question, which is the thesis. Your specific details need to explain what that has to do with your thesis. Does that make sense? You're not just giving elaboration and writing sentences just for the heck of it. You are explaining to me why this point goes with the answer. Does that make sense? Go back and check your notes. The second paragraph, second body paragraph, excuse me, is going to do the same thing. Your first sentence is going to introduce that point. Your specific details need to be explaining how that point or what that point has to do with the answer. Then you get to your conclusion. You restate your thesis, flip it, because you don't want to write it exactly the same. And then you're going to give some gentle advice. Something that you're going to tell the reader that they need to do. Just that relates to the answer. For example, if I was writing about the importance of kindness in the classroom, my gentle advice will be some ways that they could be kind. Remember that? Is that clicking again? Please go back and check your notes. Please go back and look at the video. I have a whole video that I've done, y'all seen it, that explains all of that. Know that the point of the expository essay is for you to explain your points and how they relate to the answer to that question, because the prompt is really going to be wanting you to think about something. So if they're saying explain the importance of kindness in the classroom, they're asking you, is kindness important in the classroom? If they're writing a prompt that says explain whether failure can strengthen a person, they're asking, can failure strengthen a person? If they're asking you to write an essay explaining the importance of sugar in sweet tea, they're asking you, is sugar important in sweet tea? And we all know that that's a yes. So do you see what I'm saying? Your essay is going to explain that. It's not just, oh, let me just write. You're going to be explaining that. And you all are really good communicators. I see you texting all the time, and you are very good with telling me about how you what you think about things. The one thing you want to make sure is that you're not turning this expository essay into a journal entry. One time, my friend and I, we went down to the mall, and she did not buy sugar that day. She bought Splenda, and that Splenda was so nasty, and that's why. No, we're not writing a whole journal entry that way. We may say there was once a girl who tried Splenda in her sweet tea, and it actually made it taste bitter instead of sweet. And for that reason, sugar is definitely important to sweet tea. Do you hear the difference in that? I gave scenarios for both, but I did not make it a journal entry. On our short answer, pushing forward, RATETES, that's what you need to pass your test. Restate the question. Answer the question. Give text evidence. Then you explain how that relates to the answer. Notice expository and short answer both. In your explanation or your specific details, you must explain how that relates to the answer. Then you go back to text evidence and then explain how that relates to the answer. And then you stop. Right? Right. So, remember, use your text. As you're writing your short answer, remember that formula. Practice that. Remember that RATETES gives you the whole setup for how you work that or write that little short answer. Once you've done that, you're done. But make sure you are giving credit when you are opening those quotes. In the passage, such and such and such and such, by such and such and such and such, the author states, and then you give your text evidence. Does that ring a bell? For those of you who have notes, and or those of you who can't find your notes, please go talk to one of your classmates and get that information. Make sure you have that. Make sure you study that. Make sure that you are looking over that. And because if you haven't looked over that this week, I promise it's not just going to sneak up a surprise. I'm back in your memory. You have got to study this stuff, okay, sweeties? As we're pushing forward and we are moving into the reading part, for many of us, we do our reading first, and our brains are so tired that when we get to the writing, we just go. I would almost alternate, honestly. I like to go ahead and get my writing done, and then go back and read. I like to get my expository essay, my big essay done, so I can think clearly, and then I go back and read, and then I do my short answer. That's just the way I would recommend doing it. When you're writing the essay again, they're going to give you scratch paper. Go ahead and draw your box. Go ahead and label hook, thesis, main idea 1, main idea 2, conclusion, restate the thesis, gentle advice, so you have that. Go ahead, on the back of that white sheet of paper, write RATETES, so you don't even have to think about it. Go ahead and get all that out onto that paper, so when it's time to do those parts of the test, you have it. Now, let's talk about the night before. The night before the test, Sunday night, because I think the 7th is Monday. Yeah, Sunday night. Go to bed. Don't stay up all night talking to Bae, best friend, Tutu, TT, Paw Paw, Meemaw, or watching anything. Go to sleep. Because if you are sleepy during that test, you're going to look up and you have an hour left to do everything. Do not sleep during the test. Sleep the night before. Okay? So if you have to kick people out of your room, don't throw a slumber party Sunday night and think you're going to be ready on Monday morning. Before school, or when you get to school, get something nutritious to eat. Like some fruit and some bacon and some eggs or some pancakes. Honey bun, it's just going to make you go like this. Oh, yeah, I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm awake. And then you just go click, click. You want something that's going to hold you that whole entire test. So make sure you're eating what you should be eating in order to succeed. So the night before, go to bed. The morning of, get something to eat. Do what you most possibly can to ensure that you have a good, positive Monday morning before you walk into the test. Some of us cannot help it. We got crazy households. We sometimes get into it with somebody in the hallway or at home. That morning, I need for you to avoid drama at all costs. Because if you are thinking about what happened in the hallway instead of focusing on that test, all you're going to do is try and rush through the test so you can go and find so-and-so and so-and-so in the hallway and handle up. But I'm telling you, that's the worst thing you can do. Many of us go around daily talking about we want to be the boss or how we are this or how we the baddest and all this kind of stuff. And you're not. Not if you're worried about somebody else. Bosses take care of themselves. They take care of their own business. They mind their own business. They are the ones you see in class answering questions. Bosses are the ones who are not entertaining all the foolishness, all the pettiness. I know we have petty friends and team petty this and all this kind of ridiculousness, but that's not cute, cool, ladylike, or going to get us anywhere in life. Many of the most successful people, my dears, are the people other people counted out, that other people overlooked, whom other people didn't believe in. But they pushed and they worked and they grinded hard for themselves. So again, like that video we watched, my question is, how bad do you want it? If you're not hungry for it, success is not going to chase you down and overtake you. You have to chase success down. You have to work hard for your success. You have to go hard and say, I'm going to do this, and you're not going to stop me. So if you want him that bad that you're going to break up our friendship, have him, honey, because when I'm making my money, And when I am driving my car, and when I am walking across that stage, or when I am getting my test results and I passed, I know that I did that. I know that it is because of the hard work that I chose to put in. So please know, there are going to be a lot of things that try to distract you between now and your test. But if you don't remember anything I say, you have got to focus. Because success is not going to chase you down. You have to chase it down. And for all of those who like to make excuses, well, my mama did this, or my daddy did this, or so-and-so did this, it's not their fault. It's still yours. Because excuses are like butts. Everybody has them, and they stink. And excuses promise failure. Excuses promise failure. They ensure failure. So if you put it on our lips to give an excuse, you're going to ensure that I didn't take responsibility for this. Okay? So it's not that you haven't had good teachers or good teaching or any of that. You've had everything available. You have videos. You have packets. You now have tutorials. You have Miss Allen. You have me on Facebook. You have your notes. Everything you need to succeed is at your fingertips. But are you hungry enough? I want it for you, but I can't do it for you. You have got to believe in yourself that you are the amazing, wonderful, fantastic, intelligent, fantabulous, beautiful beings that you are. Handsome, amazing people that are capable of doing this test and much, much more. In you, there is a business owner. In you, there is a teacher. In you, there is a nurse. In you, there is a doctor. There's a lawyer. There's an entrepreneur. There's a world changer. There is a person who is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or think, according to the power that works in you. You are able to do this. And I believe in you. And I am going to be rejoicing with all of you when you get those passing grades. And I just want you to know, I love you. And you can do it. So before I go, I want to shout out some people who are my Facebook friends on my A Teacher site on Facebook. So if you haven't found me, here it is. Here is A Teacher Johnson. That's what it looks like. A Teacher Johnson. One more time. There you go. On there, I post little updates. I post different things. I've had people from class message me asking me about ways or things that they can improve. So right now, I just want to give a couple of shout outs to my friends from class on Facebook. Shout out to Mr. Maps. Shout out to Miss Jamisha Jones. Shout out to Haziel, Jeffrey Jones, Kayla Nelson, Kaylee, Kiara, Bryce, Malik, LaWinter, McKeelian, Markevian, Quinn, Trey, Tyrell, Ulysses, and Yashika. Majorly, I want to shout out Shika and Jamisha because they have been inboxing me, messaging me, asking me questions, and I just want you to know y'all are going to do it. Not just them, but everybody. But kudos to them for going the extra mile. Hopefully, in these next few days, all of us will be doing that. Because come January, I want you all to be in English 2. Or English 2 credit recovery, or whatever it is that you're going to do. I don't want you to be spending one more semester recouping when you can get it now. You're smart. You got this. I believe in you. I love you. I'm praying for you. Mikey's in there kicking for you. We're cheering you on. And I know that you're going to succeed. Be the boss. Take care of your business. The time is now. Alright? I love you. Peace.